Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, and welcome to my house, which is what we're currently in the process of renovating. I need to get the right fucking key for this bloody door. Right, lots of bits to do. We've already trashed the shit out of the kitchen. This raised bread needs to come out, but apparently there's a fern in here that Mum wants, so we've got to take that out first. This was the kitchen. It was fully furnished, but we ripped it out because it was rotten. This back wall completely exposed to damp, hence we've taken all the tile off it as well, stripped it right back. This roof, it's basically, this kitchen was essentially like an extension of the house. It's not actually part of the solid structure, which starts here. So that's the actual solid structure of the house, and then obviously this is the additional extension bit, which was the kitchen. And anyway, the roof has been made as if it was a shed rather than an actual roof. So the insulation, there isn't any. And then obviously the board which goes underneath the roof tiles is just a shed roof. So, and those beams are not supportive, those wooden beams, they're literally just 2x4s. So yeah, this whole roof needs to come off because it has warped. And if you can see that, the top of that window is not straight. So we need to take all that apart. The actual structure itself is sound. The brickwork is all good. It's just the roof is fucked. So we got to sort that out. Also, Dash. Skip's arriving today because all the bits of the kitchen are all in here. So we've got all that, all the floorboards as well, which we've taken up. We've got to take the carpet up upstairs as well. So we're going to do that. There's some down here as well, but not much. Shed load of copper piping there, really badly done. This house was a bit of a steal because it needs a fair bit of work to it, but a nice 2-bed terrace in the city of Chester, which is where I went to school. So it's very much home for me, and very much looking forward to getting this all done. So lots to chuck in a skip today when it arrives, bit of fun and games getting that here. It was supposed to arrive this morning, but there wasn't enough space to drop it off, so we've had to come over, get somebody to move their car, cordon off the area, and await the skip man, essentially. So we're going to get on and get this fern out while we are waiting. You having fun?
Yeah, we'll get it come out.
It's come out quite easily, actually, isn't it?
Hmm?
Well, it's not too bad. There you go.
I don't think it's going to go...
That's not going to fit in that bucket.
You know what we'll do? Now the other bucket.
The other bucket. Any opportunity to utilise the hammer. There you go. Cool. One carpet rolled.
Carpet rolled. We'll probably have that underlay off these stairs purely because it'll just work loose and prove to be a complete fucking pain in the ass.
Stairs. Done. Hallway in process. And now to take up all these little fucking grippers. Yep, that's all the gripper done off the stairs and the downstairs. So that's all done. We're just waiting on the skip. Excellent work. One skip. And there we have one almost full skip. And one very sweaty and tired me. One sort of cleaner kitchen. And there we go. All stripped out. And then there's a slightly fuller skip with all the crap we just put in it. I think we got here at about, I want to say 12, half 12, one-ish. So it's now 4. So a few hours of work and then head home now. Pretty tired, so I've got some food to get in. But yeah, good day, productive day. Legs this morning, this in the afternoon, check-ins in the intermediary. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I'd do a bit of a day in life video today. It's 20 past 4 in the morning. I've been up for about an hour already. Sleep pattern's still fucked. It is getting better, to be fair. It's just one of those days where I've woken up about with 5 hours sleep and I feel fine, so I just want to get on with my day. So I've had a coffee already, been playing some video games, playing Bolt Gun at the minute. It's actually free. If you've got PlayStation Plus, it's free, which means it's technically not free, but you know what I mean. You can download it and play it. It's a lot of fun. Warhammer game, very fun. Yeah, just about to have my morning digestion drink. There should be more subs in it, but I'm awaiting a subs order at the minute. Royal Mail have fucked me. But yeah, all my usual sort of health subs, and then 30ml apple cider vinegar, 50ml aloe vera, and juice from a lemon, all in here, in the Superman shaker. Help with the old digestion in the morning, as well as all my other health supplement needs, which I would normally have a lot more than I do. But at the minute, it was just 10 grams of glutamine, a scoop of glutathione, and scoop of Hydromax. And that's all I've got at the minute. So I'm going to drink this and go upstairs and continue playing more video games because it's still at an ungodly hour. Okay, ladies and gents. Meal 1, pre-workout meal, about to go down. Okay. 120 grams of the Trained by JP cream of rice, triple chocolate flavour, the best flavour. Put some water on that. Boiling water is on. I just eyeballed it because I know what I'm doing, but stir it all through. 10 grams of 90% dark chocolate. Just that. Ooh, low salt, pink salt, the baby Tupperware, the drug dealer micro scales. 1, 2, 3. 2 grams of that, 2 grams of this. So this is mostly potassium, whereas this is mostly sodium. So we want an equal blend between, basically. Hydration, chuck that in there. And then I will weigh out my whey using the micro scale because it's more accurate. 20 grams, and I'm going to make a whey drip paste, whatever the fuck you want to call it these days, whichever marketing term you want to use. Basically just put a very small amount of liquid in it and drizzle it over the top of the food because you can then taste all of it, and it tastes bloody yummy. Which flavor? I've got the Perform white chocolate hazelnut flavor, which I was skeptical about, but it's actually really fucking nice, so happy. Put the tiny weeniest amount of water in this, and you're just gonna stir it up. You basically just want a nice thick consistency, but you should be able to drizzle it over the top of the food, basically. And I just need to mix my dark chocolate in and my salt, so I'll do that now too. Ugh, I like my cream of rice proper solid. I don't understand people that literally end up drinking their cream of rice. I get you want some volume, but like fucking hell. I do not want to be having chocolate soup for breakfast. I would much prefer something that resembles a cake. That is all mixed through. Now we grab our fruit. 100 grams of strawberries. You'll have to go a little bit over, so that's 120, but when I cut the stems off, ends up around 100. 94. 100. Right, 100 grams of banana. 100 grams of banana, and then 20 grams of raisins. The reason I'm putting the raisins in is because, one, it's a big old hit of the high density fructose. 20 grams of that is about 17 grams of carbs. I could just volumize to get more cream of rice, but I don't want to just chuck in more volume for the sake of volume. Fits perfectly within this bowl, and the great thing about having smaller bowls is your eyes very much relate to how big the thing you're eating out of is. So I prefer to keep my bowls smaller, so it feels like the meals are smaller in itself, but also if the bowl is full, it feels like it's a lot of food at the same time. So you sort of trick your brain as you get further into the off-season, like, it's a small bowl. It's a full bowl, so you don't feel like you're not eating, but at the same time, it's not a giant bowl. So as you get further down the line, you're not going to feel full because you're eating numerous meals a day. And also, you don't have a limited space, so you've got to make that bowl dense. So if you need to use stuff like honey, dates, raisins, to bring up the amount of carbs you got in there, you can, rather than just going, I'll just have 200 grams of cream of rice. Because that will just cause a lot of bloating in the end. So we want to use a variety of ingredients as well. Variety is the spice of life. Numerous different nutrient sources, numerous different carb sources. So micros and macros there. And also taste. You don't want to be stuck on eating the volume, quantities and quantities of the same thing, because you will get palate fatigue and your appetite will drop off a cliff, and you will get bored of your food, and then you'll probably end up cheating on your diet and all that sort of stuff. So good to get the variety in. Right, finishing touch, ground sweet cinnamon, splash it all over the top of that, and we're done. That's meal one for you. Coffee, intra-workout, and pre-workout. So, more drug dealer scales. Carb Max, so this is a carbohydrate powder, very digestible form of carbohydrates. I'm only going to stick 10 grams in here. Serving size is normally 30, but I only really need 10. There is an electrolyte complex as well, but that's obviously, you're only going to get the full amount of that. With a full serving, I'm only doing 10 because I don't need shed loads intra. I get plenty of food in as it is, and you don't, I'm not a performance athlete in that sense where I'm constantly working. I'm not going to need hundreds of grams of carbs in a training session. I'm also not taking things like insulin, and I never will, so there's no need. So just a small amount here. Hydration product, Hydromax, obviously keep me hydrated throughout the session. That's probably more important than putting carbohydrates in for me, because I will still sweat a lot rather than having a drastically enormous energy demand. So very useful to get the hydration component in. Next, creatine. I have this intra-workout. I find if I have it pre, you can have it any time of day, but I find if I have it pre, it bloats me a bit. So I'll have 7 grams of this because that's how much the scoop is. It doesn't really matter if you have 7 or 10 or 5. You shouldn't really need 10. 5 will do, but the scoops are usually a bit bigger than what they say. It usually says 5 gram scoop, but inevitably it's more because they want you to get through the product quicker. Anyway, creatine does work, helps to volumize the muscle cell with water, so it keeps the muscle cell properly hydrated, and hence you're going to be stronger. So it is a very useful product, and it does actually work. And then essential amino acids, so essential max, so every single amino acid that is essential for muscle building, combined with the carbohydrates, well fueled during the session. So it basically look to instantly start repairing the muscle once it has been broken down. So just basically it's a fractional percentage thing, but this is a game of percentages we exist in. Is every single person going to need an EAA? You could skip it. The only things I would consider in an intra-workout to be more than essential, these two things. And if you want to add some carbohydrates in there because you do feel that you are flagging a bit, this as well. But this is not going to be essential for everybody. And then another 2 grams of pink salt. And another 2 grams of low salt for the electrolyte balance. That's everything that goes into my very BTEC plastic bowl. I never worked with anything that's like a shaker. I just need 1.5 litres of water and a nice bowl. Pre-workout. I've used this forever. This is Vascumax by Strong. Excellent pump product. I don't use stims. Any of you that follow the channel for any period of time will know that I have a chronic prostate issue, so chronic prostatitis, brought on by stress while working in London. But it basically means that I cannot use, I drink a lot of coffee, but I can't use any artificial stims. It doesn't matter what it is. Like a Monster, I just can't have it. Even if it's low level, I can have a Pepsi Max, that's fine. Above a certain amount at once, like a high delivery of it all at once, sets my prostate off, which if any of you are old enough or ill enough to know what that feels like, it's not fun. So yeah, you just feel like you have to piss all the time. It's painful too. So I would not recommend inducing a stress-related prostate issue by moving to London and working in the insurance market for people that do not like you. But yeah, that's a different thing. Honestly, kids, unless you have a vocation you want to go and do, don't go to uni. Do it for the plot, that'll be about it, but you'll also end up laden with a shitload of debt. It's a load of fun, but if you actually want to get on with life pretty soon, just go get a career, just go get a job, because going to university, it's hellishly fun, and I've got excellent long life friends for the whole of it, but it is more about the friends than it was about the degree. I can barely remember anything from my 2 degrees, apart from the fact that my debt keeps getting bigger and I will probably never pay it off. You'd probably have to be earning like upwards of 120 grand a year to start seeing the interest payment be outstripped by your actual payment of the loan. So it's one of those, you have to be earning a lot of money to stop actually paying it off. The rest of the time you're just paying interest. So you're just watching your loan get bigger and bigger and bigger while you still pay for it, which is criminal in reality. We were so missold on student debt. Anyway, that's a completely different thing. Never trust the government. Right, on to the actual workout itself, and it is the elusive, the mysterious anterior day. So starting off with calves, toe press. So just basically big old stretch, big old contraction, 3 straight sets here. Looking to just get into that gastrocnemius and get yourself some nice heart-shaped calves. Really pushing them really fucking hard. Get some big calves. Onto the adductors. I don't want no thigh gap. I think it's a straight set here and then a rest pause. Actually, no, sorry, it's 2 straight sets on this day. So a heavier one and a lighter one. And just obviously trying to work the shit out of the inner thigh and build that up so I don't have no thigh gap on stage from front to back. Obviously working very hard here, making sure that I'm going to absolute failure, where I can't move that weight anymore, which is what you're seeing right there, the partial reps. On to leg extension, and this is 2 straight sets here. Again, we're going to push this as hard as we fucking can. I want to get the quad as short as possible. That's the whole point of this movement. That's what we can do in this movement. So I want to be contracting, squeezing really hard in that contractile position. And then obviously as we work our way through the set, I want to be making sure that I'm going into partial reps. So getting as high up as I can on the contraction, fighting, want to get more, but obviously we failed what we failed, which was there for me. On to pendulum squat. I'm actually really enjoying this movement at the minute. I'm just really connecting well with it. Previously I haven't done, but after sort of mentally realizing I need to drop the weight for one and then try and fold the leg in half, actively trying to fold the leg in half to get the arse to the ankles. That's what's really clicked for me, and really thinking about getting that range of motion rather than purely thinking about it as weight. I'm really trying to get my arse to touch my ankles here and basically provide maximum flexion across the knee. I stretch the quad as much as possible. And yes, big ouch by the end of that. Right, onto chest, and we're into cable flies here. Really good movement in terms of getting a big stretch across the chest. I see a lot of people when they do this, you do have to do it inclined, otherwise you're going to bottom out the machine. So making sure you have a big enough incline, and then also making sure you get big enough stretch without putting too much bend through the arm. You need a little bit, but we don't want to turn it into a press, basically. So you still want to make it a fly. Excellent stretch position here. Contraction, not so much compared to a pec deck, but still very, very good. And then onto something I'm insanely weak at, which is flat bench, dumbbell bench. But I've got a little bit of an incline on here, so I don't end up sliding all the way down the bench. That's absolutely fine with this. Big amount of control here. Obviously, you want to be getting the dumbbells as far back as possible instead of getting a big enough stretch. Because, again, this is more of a stretch movement than it is a contraction. So we want to get a big stretch there, but I also want to control that weight as well. I think I'm only using about 40 kilos here, which for someone of my size, you expect to be using more. But I'm doing it with pauses in the stretch, and obviously how much is of it. I want to get stronger now, though. On to the front raises. I do them dual with the dumbbell. just because I like doing that. And then once we run out of those, which happens in a second, obviously with the pause of the contraction, we'll move on to the single arm, just because it becomes easier to get those ones out. So a little bit swingy in the end when we really try to pump out the last few reps here. And then into a rest pause. It's 2 rest pause sets here. And continue to pump those out until we cannot do any more rest pause, 20-second rest in between each thing. And then on to lateral raises, which was 1 straight set and then 1, it's just a big drop set until I run out of weight, basically. So just a big old drop set. But again, yeah, really trying to be precise with the tempo, big pause in the contraction there, making sure I'm hitting that lateral delt, but then also getting into those partial reps when I run out of full range of motion to really take that muscle to full failure. And then we're on to some abs to finish, which is just a basic ab crunch with weighted behind the head, obviously putting the weight behind the head because it's the hardest place you can put it, just shoving my feet under a machine so that they don't move and I'm not like throwing myself around the place, but yeah, really simple, really effective ab exercise, better than rope crunches. I find I'm not a really big fan of rope crunch. Hey. Meal 2, post-workout. 65 grams of oats. And 65 grams of cream of rice. Why both, I hear you ask? Keep the fiber content down of the meal, so I'm not having too much fiber at once, but I am getting some. And because it makes the oats taste better, which is more or less the key thing there. So let's put some hot water on that. You do this exactly the same as you would cream of rice, but because it's oats, half of it's oats, you don't need as much water as you would with cream of rice, so you can go a little bit lower, but I eyeball it anyway, so I'm not measuring it out regardless. Right, once again, we mix it up. All right, fruit. Well, not fruit just yet. First, we've got our protein sauce going in. So I've got the Tesco Finest 0% fat Greek yogurt. Basically, fine, but cheaper. 150 grams of that going in. Don't need shed loads. I only eat 180 grams of protein every day. So get a bit in for this meal. Obviously, it's majority going to be carbs post-workout. So I don't need shed loads of protein with this one. Go on, get off my spoon. And then we mix that through. And then 100 grams of blueberries. Most expensive commodity in the bloody world. Honestly, you could probably get plutonium for cheaper. 100 raspberries. And then another 15 grams of raisins. Cool. Fruit done. Finish it off. 10 grams of peanut butter. Cool. And that is meal 2. The cinnamon for the taste. I've got work to do. Got shower, work, etc. It is 9:30, so got most of the work out of the way, all done. And then we'll crack on with some work on this fine Sunday. Gone out for a dog walk. Isn't it bloody lovely? Hello. Excuse me. You're kicking the ball down. I can't pick it up for you. Yeah, stop. Hey! Well, it's not happening then, is it? You ready? Right, meal 3. It is currently 2:15, and this is 450 sweet potato, 2 whole eggs, 4 reduced fat bacon medallions, 130 grams of pear, 100 grams of cucumber, 100 grams of tomato, and then a couple of handfuls of baby spinach. This meal is much later than it should be. Went for a dog walk and was there for a while. Should have eaten beforehand, didn't. So ended up very tired, pretty much on the verge of a hypo. So it was decided that today shall be an off-plan meal day. So I need to eat this. I'll probably eat again at 4, and then it'll be a case of have off-plan meal. Right, 4th and final meal prior to cheat meal, off-plan meal, whatever you want to fucking call it. Rice-based meal. On the note of the cheat meals, they are very useful, and I did utilise them completely throughout prep. We're trying to stick to sort of 1 a week at the minute. They do help in terms of chilling you the fuck out, allowing you to have a bit of fun, especially in the off season, and just sort of, you know, they do help in terms of they don't spike your metabolism, but they certainly keep your body in that awareness that you are actually going to have food which you may enjoy, and that you're not going to sort of just constantly have to eat the same thing, especially in a prep setting. Very useful. In an off-season setting as well, also rather useful. So it is one of those where, you know, I do like, especially with clients, I do like to utilize cheat meal. Refeeds can be useful, but only realistically if you need to control that factor, or if, say, somebody has a problem with binging. And to be fair, my cheat meals are massive. Some people would consider it a binge, but it's not. It's what I need. And did the jiu-jitsu yesterday at the Strom thing, so I'm pretty fucking knackered today, as well as just sort of mistime my meals on the beach walk and just end a bit fucked up. 100 grams of rice, put in a chicken stock cube in this for a bit of flavour. And then turmeric, ginger, a little bit of spice, some cayenne pepper. So those are my seasonings that just go straight onto my rice. Boom, 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 boom. A little bit of cayenne pepper, not too much. Not too much of any of these, because you'll make the rice very powdery otherwise. I'm gonna do 100 grams of courgette in there, and I do weigh it. You know, some people get lazy with their veg and don't bother, or don't even eat it, which isn't great. But yeah, some courgette. I would either do green beans or courgette in terms of that going in there, so 100 grams of that. Could chop it smaller, but I can't be asked. And half a pepper. Chop that up. Normally, if I was making all of my meals, I do 2 rice meals at once. So I'll have 2 rice meals in the day. I will make them at the same time. I'll use a big pan. I'll use 200 grams of rice, and I'll chuck in some carrot alongside this as well. 100 grams of carrot normally. But there we go. We're just doing this today, as it is a cheat meal, Sunday. It's also May the 4th, so I better watch something Star Wars related, because May the 4th be with you. Someone said I look a bit like Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I haven't got the beard anymore. We're just on Tash basis, so maybe if he was a World War I style general, which I think that is Obi-Wan Kenobi's sort of character anyway. I align with that. I like a Kenobi. So I'll go put this on to boil, bring it to the boil, put it on to simmer. That'll be my rice doing, and then we'll prepare the rest. Hey, that's on to simmer. I'll grab a bowl so we can fill it with stuff. One bowl. Kale, I like me some kale. I will just grab a couple of handfuls of that and sort of fill the bottom of the bowl with it. Nice and crunchy. Some people don't like kale, grow up. 2 kiwis, which is about 120 grams of kiwi. I will weigh that. Now, I have been watching Andor, and whenever I watch Andor, because it comes out in episodes of 3, I watch it twice. So I've watched them all at once, binged them, and then before the next lot come out, I'll watch them again. Honestly, one of my favourite TV shows of all time. I couldn't give a fuck that it's Star Wars, and funnily enough, the director doesn't either. Apparently it's been pitched that it's basically, it doesn't matter, which is exactly what it feels like. It actually feels like a World War II sort of resistance style thing, which that's some shit I like. So they've nailed it as well. They've nailed how a tyranny operates. It's great, great shit. 1 big bowl, beetroot, which is about 50, 60 grams. Gut health, fermented food. Kimchi, which is a chili style kimchi. I will put in 50 grams of that. the one thing people do, I notice on meal plans more than ever, is if one of their clients is having like a gut issue, and usually the client's on a shitload of drugs, they'll just throw in like sauerkraut or kimchi and be like, oh, magic fix. Not if you've got bacterial gut overgrowth, mate. It's going to make it worse because you're already eating, you're already fermenting in your gut. All your food is still sat there, fermenting away, and you've added a fermented food. It's just going to make it worse. So when people do that and they've got a distended stomach and they're like, I'll just add some kimchi, you'll make that way fucking worse. So, yes, good stuff. And then we're going for 50 grams of avocado. It's about half of one if it's reasonably sized. You do get some mega ones from Costco. They're enormous. Or M&S, they have some massive ones in there. M&S is, people think, oh, it's so expensive. For what you get, it's really not. It's very good. It is a bit pricey when you come to the till, but that's supermarkets these days in general. I'm going to use beef mince, 100 grams of beef mince, which I've already pre-made. No seasoning on it. It's beef mince. I don't really feel like it needs seasoning, whereas when I do my turkey or my chicken, I will stick Cajun spice on it. It gives it a real nice tang. But yeah, that's that meal done for now. And then once the rice is done, whack it on top. This is a very, very micronutrient dense meal. But B12 in the mince, B6 and lots of stuff, polyphenols in the avocado, kiwi for digestive benefit, the beetroot is there in terms of its nitrate, so it actually help you get a better pump, as well as all of its other oxidative stress benefits. The kale as well, plenty of polyphenols in there, as well as many other benefits in terms of gut health, so as well as the kimchi. So yeah, very, very diverse meal, and high in fiber. Real good, makes you feel groovy. So yeah, real happy with that one. And then, I don't know when Mum and Dad are going to make meal, but the off-plan meal I'm going to have will just be a meal that they're having. I could go out and get a burger, I could get a pizza, could do anything else instead, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to. When you get coaches that are like, you have to eat a burger and fries, what if I don't want it? It's not going to sit well. I'm not going to be happy eating it. It's not going to have the desired benefit. An off-plan meal should be something that you just feel like having. And that's the basis of existing as a human being. You aren't just a bodybuilder. And even then, acting as a robot isn't going to help anybody when you don't need to be one. On prep, different story, but even then when you have a cheat meal on prep, you'd expect it to be something you actually want. And that's how we worked out that carbon up for me, ice cream and cookies, there's nothing better. Because it just sits. It sits so well with me. With other people, if you give them ice cream, they'd be bloated for days. But for me, I'm a dairy boy, always have been. So it works really fucking well for me. But tonight we have a cheesecake, which I'll share with my dad. I'm not going to eat all of it because I've got ice cream and cookies to go with. So yeah, you'll see my cheats are quite big. I'm a big boy, and you do need to eat. You got to remember that. You've got to eat. So even when you're carbon up, you can't be afraid to eat. You need to stoke the fire. So, and have a bit of enjoyment in life. And if it works, it works. For some people, it might not. They might just end up bloated and fat. I mean, I do end up with a fair bit of water retention, but it's not crazy. And I burn it off. You know, quite a lot of calories are used walking me around. And like, even at the minute, I'm pretty lean, as you've seen before. And like right now, I can feel my feet on the floor. So, and I've still got glute lines, etc. That will fade in time, especially as I'm not quite out of the period where the drugs have left my system yet. In terms of just coming down off that. We're still running 20 micrograms of Clen every other day just to keep me a little bit. You don't want to pull out a metabolic regulator like that straight away. You do want to wean off it, so I'm still on that. That'll come out as of Wednesday, so we're not far off as it's Sunday today. That's probably almost done, so I need to check it, and then I'll eat it. And then you'll pick me up in the next meal. All right, I'll see you then.
There's another guy there we know, Mark. There's a guy called Mark, he's a pro. These were made specifically.
Would have got triple chocolate, but they didn't have any. So, ladies and gents, that was a full day in the life, full day of eating, whatever, with the cheat meal. In the end, I think I had about 2/3 of that cheesecake by myself, 2 cookies, and the full thing of ice cream. So yeah, they're relatively sizable, my cheat meals, and felt pretty good after that, so we're all good. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.